Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, TechnoWizard42. Thanks for the suggestion, TechnoWizard. You asked, why is it called Wi-Fi? At first glance, it sounds like a super technical term, like something an engineer invented in a secret lab. But it's actually one of the sneakiest marketing tricks ever. A group of engineers had just created wireless internet, realized the official name sounded like a robot sneeze, and called in the pros, the marketing team. Stay tuned as we uncover the story behind the name Wi-Fi, right here on Explaining Everything. Before Wi-Fi became a household name, wireless internet had a name so boring, so complicated, that you'd rather poke your eyes out with an Ethernet cable than say it out loud. IEEE 802.11b Direct Sequence Spread Spectrum. Seriously, try saying that 3 times fast. Not only does it sound like a secret government project, it also makes you look insane at a party. Hey, can I borrow your IEEE 802.11b password? Instant friend loss. The engineers knew this was a problem. They'd finally figured out how to let humans connect to the internet without wires. But nobody could actually remember the name. They needed something simple, catchy, and friendly enough to slap on a box in a store without scaring everyone away. Enter the Wi-Fi Alliance, the organization responsible for creating standards for wireless internet. Their job was to make sure all devices could talk to each other, but they also realized they needed a marketing miracle. So they hired a branding firm called Interbrand, whose job was basically to turn super boring tech jargon into something people could actually say without Googling the pronunciation first. The result? Wi-Fi. Here's the kicker. Wi-Fi doesn't actually stand for anything. None of it. Zero. Nada. Zilch. It's a name invented purely for its vibes, not its meaning. The marketing team wanted it to feel a little like hi-fi, short for high fidelity, which was already associated with good sound quality. High-tech, high performance. Wi-Fi just sounded nice, like it belonged in your living room instead of a physics lab. They even created the phrase wireless fidelity to make it sound like Wi-Fi meant something, even though it was never intended as a real acronym. So when someone proudly tells you Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity, technically, they're wrong. But honestly, it's such a good lie that everyone lets it slide. Once Wi-Fi was launched, the name spread faster than a cat video on the internet. It was short, simple, and surprisingly fun to say. You didn't need to know anything about networking protocols, routers, or spectrum bands. Just point your device at a network, click connect, and boom, Wi-Fi. Even more impressively, the Wi-Fi Alliance didn't rely on technical explanations to get people on board. They leaned entirely on branding. Think about it. Most of us don't know how Ethernet actually works, but we're fine calling it Wi-Fi, as if we're experts. It's like the Apple of networking. All style, zero need for deep comprehension. And this is why Wi-Fi became such a household term. It's one of the few tech words that sneaks into casual conversation without anyone thinking twice. You don't ask, hey, does your IEEE 802.11b direct sequence spread spectrum work? You just say, hey, is there Wi-Fi here? And everyone gets it. Instant connection. Pun intended. Here are a few little-known, hilarious truths about Wi-Fi. First, Wi-Fi is not pronounced Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi because of logic or science. It's because people agreed it sounded nice. That's it. Second, there's a mascot. Kind of. The Wi-Fi Alliance used a little logo with radio waves for branding, making Wi-Fi feel almost magical. Third, people still argue about it. Tech forums are full of Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity debates. No matter how many times you correct someone, the myth persists. At the end of the day, Wi-Fi's name is proof that marketing can be just as powerful as engineering. Engineers made the magic happen, but marketers made it unforgettable. And honestly, we're all better off for it. So next time you connect to a Wi-Fi network, remember, the name that powers your Netflix binges, Zoom calls, and gaming marathons doesn't actually mean anything. It's just a clever, catchy, slightly mysterious name dreamed up by a marketing team that knew exactly what they were doing. Wi-Fi is one of those rare inventions where the technology is complicated, but the name is gloriously simple. And sometimes that's all it takes to change the world, or at least make it easier to post your lunch on Instagram without wires. If you learned something new about the world's most important thing right now, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe don't call it wife. I know you need it every day, but just don't. It's for your own good. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.